So welcome to the second part of the goal setting system that works. My name is George ACN. I'm that life coach, that motivational speaker, and that peak performance consultant that helps you become the best you can be. Welcome to another very exciting time. And if you've been following our series, if you've not been following, you can go to our YouTube channel, George ACN, and then watch the video, the goal setting system that works, or you can click on the notification button so that you can get updates, regular updates on all of our videos, and then you can also choose to subscribe with us. So amazing information and content you will have that will position you for a better 2021. So today we will be talking about a goal setting system that works. A goal setting system that works. So we started talking about personal mastery, and we said that personal mastery is personal discovery plus personal development. Remember, for you to be a master in life, for you to be a champion in life, you need to understand that you discover certain things in certain areas of your life, and then you develop yourself. So we talked about discovering your purpose, the reason for your existence, and we said that the life of purpose is the purpose of life. We also say you need to discover your potentials, your giftings, your talents, your abilities, your skills, and you've got to deploy them. We also said that you also want to discover the people who will help you actualize your destiny, who will take you on a journey. And then we also said that you want to discover not just your purpose, your potential, your people, you want to discover the place. And that's where we talked about, we stopped. The place of your environment, because environment affects performance. Environment determines growth. Environment determines exposure. And what exposure you have determines what you're able to reach out to and access and get. So your environment is very important. It can place a lead on you. There's this experiment that was done a few years ago by scientists. You know what an aquarium is? An aquarium is a glass case that can accommodate fishes. You can actually groom fishes, small fishes, and they grow. And usually we have big aquariums, we have small aquariums. So these scientists picked up a plethora. A plethora is a baby shark. So they picked up the plethora and put that plethora into an aquarium, 6 inches sized aquarium, transparent, and began to feed the plethora, feed it, nurture it. It grew to the size of the aquarium and grew no further. It didn't matter what details, what supplements they gave to it, it did not grow beyond the size, the width, and the size of the aquarium. The moment they took that shark from that 6-inch size aquarium to a big, large transparent glass tank, it grew under their very nose into a huge full potential size, amazing, under their very nose. So they concluded that the size of the aquarium determined to a large extent affected the growth of the shark. It didn't burst out and break the aquarium, it just stayed limited to the environment. A lot of you are in environments that are limiting you, because your environment can affect your performance. Your environment can place a lead on the people, on the potential that you release. And so you've got to be very careful about your environment. You've got to discover your environment, discover your zone of maximal expression. Where is that place? Where is that location? That wherever you are like fish in water. You're like the bird in the sky. You need to discover your place, because your place determines your location. Your place determines what you assess. And so finding your place is important. Your area of industry, by that I mean your area of industry, your zone. The people around you also create your environment. People around you, people that you're exposed to. And so your environment is very important. So discover your place. We also said that there's a place of your development, and there's a place of your development, and there's a place of your manifestation. So be sensitive to know what place am I? Is this the place for my development and growth? And is the place for my manifestation? Sometimes in the place of your growth, you're trying to manifest, and that's not good. And some other times in the place of your manifestation, you are still trying to grow. You must be sensitive to know and to understand which place you are. One quality of people who are masters is that they have discovered their place. And before you start setting goals, you must discover your place. We also talked about not just discovering your place, your potential, your purpose, the people around you, the place. There's the next thing is the phases of your life, the phases or the seasons of your life, the times of your life. You need to understand what time you are in. There's a scripture that talks about the children of Issachar. The Bible says concerning them that the children of Issachar they understood the times, and because they understood the times, they became leaders among their brethren. So when you're sensitive to phases and times, you become a leader amongst your people in your society. Be sensitive to understand what time you are. Discover what time or season you are. It's very important. You don't just set goals, because we established the other time that setting goals is not just for achievements. Anybody can achieve. Setting goals is for fulfillment, and achievement is part of the fulfillment package. So understanding what time or season you are. In business, there are seasons. So we have 4 seasons in business, or 4 phases of business. When you know this and you discover this, it enables you to approach business more intelligently. Number 1, you have the investment season, where you put in a lot of money, a lot of time, because that's an exciting time when you're just starting. You've gotten a shop, you've painted the shop, you've rented, you stockpiled the shop, and you're excited. But that phase is not long. After a certain period, you get into the second season and phase of any business, and that phase is called the waiting and watering phase. The waiting and watering phase, or the waiting and watering season. Now, this season can be a very difficult season. That's where you have to exercise a lot of patience. That's where you have to nurture the business. That's where you have to work with a lot of difficult people, work with your customers, establish contact. You fail sometimes there, you restart, you re-strategize. It's called the waiting and the watering business. A lot of entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs, they give up at that period. That period where you keep trying, you put in a lot of effort, and you get very little result. You're building and get very little result. It's called the waiting and the watering phase. But it doesn't stay. Sometimes it stays for as long as 2 years, sometimes 3 years, sometimes 5 years. That's why scientists say that you may need to run a business for 5 years to actually start seeing the kind of success that you need. So if your business has not gotten up to 5 years, then you've not really started in business. That's why in 1 year, 5 or 8 in every 10 businesses that start off, you fold up. So you've got to be very conscious about the season. What season are you in your business? Are you in the waiting or watering phase of your business? That informs your goals. That informs your decisions. That enables you to have patience. That enables you to persevere. Then after the waiting and watering phase, maybe after 5 years, you get into your breakthrough phase or your harvest phase. Now this period, everything begins to work. You touch a little, you get results. You do this, you get results. You put your hand into the business, you get so much money. It's an era of abundance. Plenty money. Do little effort, get plenty results. It's called the harvest phase or the breakthrough phase. The phase where you start exploring that business. Every business has a breakthrough phase. And it's only as a result of going through the waiting and the watering phase of your life. So that breakthrough phase is important. But people bask in the euphoria of the breakthrough phase and fail to realize that there's another phase coming. And that phase is called the opportunity or the reinvestment phase, the phase where you have to reinvest again, because if you're not careful, you will eat up your harvest, you will eat up your seeds, and then you have to start again in square one. If you're not reinvested, if you're not reinvesting, you're going to just come down the drain. And that's what happens in a lot of businesses. They start up, they think that the business will always be up there. They fail to reinvest, to get into that reinvestment phase. You do 2 things in the reinvestment phase. The first thing that you do is that you diversify. You take the monies, part of the monies you've made from your breakthrough phase, and put into another business so you can start another cycle of investment. The another thing that you do in that reinvestment phase is that you expand or you scale. You open more outlets so you can have more brands, more branches, more opportunities, multiple streams. By expanding, you don't only expand the business, you also diversify. So that whatever happens to that particular business, you don't have issues with the next business. So you need to understand phases and seasons. In business, people have issues in that regard. Now, there's another, and when we talk about phases and seasons, we're also talking about their phases and seasons in leadership. If you're involved in a team building business, and I tell you, if you really want to succeed, you need to learn how to build a team, a huge team, a big team. So if you're involved in building a team or run an organization, a social enterprise, or you run a multi-level organization, there are 4 seasons in building a team. Teams go through 4 seasons. The first season is the forming stage, or the forming phase. The forming phase is that phase where there's excitement. We have a project, we have a vision, we have a goal, we're going somewhere, everybody comes, everybody's supporting, everybody's working with you. It's called the forming phase. And people are excited. But after a while, we get into another season, or another phase in team building, and it's called the storming, S-T-O-R-M-I-N-G, the storming phase. The storming phase is the phase where there's so much turbulence, so much anger, personality conflict. You have to resolve. If you're not a patient and understanding leader, that's where the team breaks up. People don't understand themselves. You start having quarrels. The thing that started out on a bright note suddenly becomes like a nightmare for you. Your dream becomes like a nightmare because you're having so much personality catch, people are misunderstanding you. But if you can patiently go through that storming phase, patiently through that phase, you get into another phase, and that phase is called the norming, N-O-R-M-I-N-G phase. The norming phase is a phase where you begin to adapt. We now begin to understand ourselves. We resolve the problems, and then we now know this is what this person doesn't like. This is what this person likes. Begin to adapt. That adaptability phase is the norming phase. But it doesn't end there, because we are getting to the point of maturity where we understand ourselves and we're working together in synchronization. We get to the last phase, and that last phase is called the performing phase, or the performing stage. The performance, because we adapted, because we understand ourselves and there's maturity, we begin to get excellent results. Peak performance in any team is achieved at the performing phase. So you see, there are seasons and there are phases in team building. As a leader, understanding this will help you to build a strong team. The forming stage, all right. The next phase is what? The storming, which is very critical. The next phase is the norming, and the last phase is the performing stage. Those are the seasons in leadership and team building. There are 3 phases in relationships. You start off a relationship, there's so much romance, so much excitement. That is the phase. If you're not careful, all of the feelings and the euphoria will fizzle out, and then you get into another phase called the reality bite phase, where you begin to see the person as the person is, the reality bite phase. And if you're not mature, you break up the relationship, you walk away from that marriage, you walk away from that relationship, and then you fail to realize that there's another season called the maturity and blossoming phase, where because of the understanding you have, both of you are matured, and then your relationship looks an exciting one. So there are seasons in a man's life, and a master discovers seasons. He understands seasons. He knows where he is per time, and he sets goals accordingly. So we talked about that at the Telegram group. By the way, there is a Telegram group I'm going to be posting here, so you can join us this evening. We're talking about financial implementation goals. We'll start an introduction this morning, and then we'll go on to look at financial introductions, how to set goals in your finances. So we also talked about at the Telegram group yesterday about discovering the universal principles of life. There are universal principles. Now, God is not a respecter of persons. God is a respecter of principles. It doesn't matter what religion you are in. It doesn't matter what faith you have. If you obey true north principles or global principles, you get the results in life. There are principles governing marriage, and that's why you don't have to be a Christian to have a good marriage. If you obey the principles that govern marriage, you don't have to be a Christian to be a good leader. The principles that govern leadership, the principles that follow and govern businesses, the principles that follow leadership. So you need to understand this. When you know and discover these principles and you apply them, you get massive results in life. If you don't understand those principles, I tell you, they would hurt you so hard. So a person who wants to make sense out of his life needs to begin to discover the global principles. Now, let me quickly distinguish between laws and principles. Now, laws are lighter than principles. Principles are higher laws. Laws have 3 inadequacies. The first inadequacy of a law is that it has people inadequacy. Nigerians are not governed by the same laws as South Africans. The laws that apply to Nigerians don't apply to Ghanaians or to South Africans. And that's why you see things like diplomatic immunity When an ambassador comes to Nigeria from America, he enjoys diplomatic immunity, or for whatever place, he enjoys diplomatic immunity. The laws binding Nigeria doesn't bind him, so he can't be arrested. He can't be arrested. It's only his country that can call him back to order or that can arrest him. And so there is such a thing as diplomatic immunity because laws have that limitation. They have that inadequacy. Now we also have place inadequacy or place limitation. That means that places have their own laws. Places have Ghanaian laws, Ghana has law, South Africa has law, Sierra Leone has law, America has law. They are limited by their laws. And the last limitation is time. Any law can become obsolete over time. Over a period of time, it can become obsolete, it can become outdated. The 1979 law of Nigeria is no more the law in implementation. We have the 1989 law, we have the 1999 law. That's what we're running with. So laws can be adjusted and amended, but not so with principles. Principles don't have place limitations. It doesn't matter where you are. Any law that is limited by place is just a law. It's not a principle. Because a principle is a universal and a global law. So it doesn't matter where you are. If you're in America and you apply the principles of wealth, you will succeed. If you are in Sokoto, the northern part of Nigeria, or you are in Borno, or you are in Ghana, or you are in Ethiopia, or you're in Trinidad and Tobago, whatever country, if you apply the principles, the universal global principles of wealth, it will work for you. Alright, so any law that is limited by place is just a law and not a principle. Principles don't respect persons. So whether you're white or black, brown, whatever country or race you're from, ethnicity or tribe, whether you're fair, tall, short, if you discover and deploy and apply universal principles, you will get the results you're looking for. The principles that govern network marketing, the principles that govern leadership, you will get the same results corresponding to the principles. Now, so same thing with place. It doesn't respect place. And this understanding helps you to there are something called true north principles that govern people. Your job as a person in 2021 is to sit down and start discovering what are the principles of life in my area of industry that can help me succeed. Principles of success, principles of leadership, principles of marriage that will help you. So you don't set goals without having an understanding of principles. So like we said, we've not started talking about goal setting yet. And the reason is because we need to lay this foundation. This foundation will help us to set goals. So we talked about personal mastery being important before you start setting goals. And we said that personal mastery is when you do personal discovery. You discover yourself. That is, you discover your purpose, one. You discover your potential or your giftings, two. You discover the people around you, your upline, your sidelines, and downlines. You discover the place, because success is geographical. You discover the phases or the seasons of your life, and you discover true north principles. You discover principles of life. That's what you need to discover. But that's the first part of personal mastery. We have another part of personal mastery, and the second part of personal mastery is personal development. So just discovering is not enough. You need to go to the next stage, and that next stage is developing your purpose, developing your potential, maximizing whatever you have found. And so you need to understand this. Your growth, that in America, in Japan, I mean, in the 50s, late into the 70s and the 80s, there was this surge in development. I mean, the Asian tigers, especially Japan. Japan became a mighty nation in technology. They focused their energy on technology. They brought in an American expert to Japan, and that man began to apply a certain principle called Kaizen, K-A-I-Z-E-N. Kaizen means never-ending improvement. And because they focused on that, Japan surged in development and became a first world nation. Same thing to Singapore. The president at that time, began to focus on getting everyone to improve. Brought expatriates to train the people, send the people out to America to learn. And because of their insistence on development and excellence and improvement, I mean, Singapore moved from a third world nation to a first world nation. So, and that's the same thing America has moved on with. America became a global power from the 1900s for over 100 years now, because America has focused on Kaizen, on what they call CANEI, constant and never-ending improvement. Now, in your own personal life, in your life, if you truly want to succeed, this year must be your year of upgrade. You want to be. It's going to be your year of upgrade. We said about discovering the seasons of life. What trends right now? The digital space is the space that you should maximize. You need to understand it and upgrade yourself here. If you're not up to 60, then you should not be complaining about not having the head for digital marketing or for understanding cryptocurrency or for understanding crypto, whatever that has to do with digital space. You need to work on yourself, you need to upgrade. And so development is vital. Development is vital. You have potentials. There's really no limit to what you can achieve. No limit to what you can achieve. Whatever you have achieved is child's play compared to whatever you can achieve. Whatever you have achieved right now is child's play compared to whatever you can achieve. And so you want to pour yourself out, develop yourself, bring out the best in you. There's so much in you. I tell you right now, there's so much in you. Perhaps your environment has limited you. Leave your environment. Your friends have limited you. Leave your friends. You need a coach. You need mentors to bring out. You need to subject yourself to the scrutiny and the discipline of mentorship and coaching. You need to immerse yourself in books that will groom you, expand your mind. You need to start traveling to different places so that you can tamper with your mentality, with your vision, so you can start seeing pictures that will expand your thinking. Development is vital to your success. So personal mastery is personal discovery plus personal development. Now, let us get into a subject matter today, and that subject matter is financial implementation goals. Is finance an important part of goal setting? Yes. So that's where we're supposed to go to. And I want to look at, we talked about this other man called Wilfredo Pareto. Wilfredo Pareto, we started discussing that yesterday. Wilfredo Pareto was an Italian scientist and economist, and he said that 80% of the wealth in Italy, in the 1900s, was controlled by 20% of the populace. So 20% people controlled 80% of the wealth. Now, if you look around the society, you notice that the 80-20 principle, or what we call the Wilfredo Pareto principle, applies. Right now, 20% of the inputs you're putting in whatever it you're doing is responsible for 80% of the results you get. 80% of the results you get are as a result of 20% input. So here's the question to you. What is the 20% activities you should be doing? And so what I want to say to you to do is it's a goal setting system. Start listing things. Start listing. Develop a listing culture. What do I mean by listing? List everything you want to do. There's something called a to-do list. Every morning before you wake up and leave out to work, make a list of everything you intend to do. Make a list. List activities. Do a list of your budget. Do a list of your prospect. Have a prospect list. And when we talk about the prospect, we're looking at your warm prospect and then your cold prospect. Your warm prospects are people who are your friends, your colleagues, people that you associate. You want to make a list of them. And then you want to start having conversations about your business with them because they're your one prospect. Then you also want to go into your cold prospect. And I've taught you that when you're starting, it's not very smart to go straight to your cold prospects. That's people who can buy your product or get your service. Because if you get into them, they might reject you. And that rejection can hamper your motivation. So what I usually encourage people to do in sales is that you first go to your one prospect, through your one prospect list, and then once they make a buying decision, you tell them to refer you to their own lists, their own people. Their people is your cold prospect. So because you have a referral from your one prospect, you're going to have a soft landing when you meet that person. So you get a referral from your one prospect to your cold prospect. Do you understand that logic now? Don't go directly. Don't start by going directly to your cold prospect. You move from your one prospect, get referrals to your cold prospect. Unless you're doing digital marketing or doing some other kind of thing. Or does not mean that you shouldn't go do cold prospecting or cold canvassing, but I'm saying that move from your one prospect, get referrals to your cold prospect. And that's why we say that you must always ask for referrals. Always ask for referrals. By that, I'm saying that when you talk to somebody about your business and the person tells you yes or no, tell him to give you a referral to someone that can say yes. And that's how to increase your chance of closing sales and getting results. But that will only happen when you make a list. Have a list of your prospects. It's always very important. You should never come to a point in your selling where you run out of your prospects to talk to. You should have people you call. I woke up this morning and then I have people I need to call. People to call, people to talk about your business. You must always have increase your prospecting funnel. So list is important. You must always have a list of things to do. For me, I have my journal, and I told you in the Telegram group that one of the things we'll be doing this evening or in the next 2 days is showing our journal or diary. And the idea basically is to show us what lists do you have. Make a list of things, everything you want to do every day. That's what I do. Make a list, even down to the tiniest things. Make a list of everything you want to do, or a list of activities, your budget. Never make a spending decision without having a budget. Never make a spending decision without having a budget. There was something called Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law says that expenses rises to meet income. Expenses rises to meet income. So every time you have more money, more expenses show up. And one of the ways to curtail that law from applying to you is by sticking to your budget. Have a budget of things you're going to do and try as much as you can to quench your appetite and stick to your budget. Have a list of everything. This is important. Have a list of your assets and your liabilities. Your assets, anything that you have around you, tangible or intangible, that is valuable is your asset. Anything that you have around you that you can exchange for fame or for fortune is your asset. Anything that you have, anything tangible or intangible that can bring in money to you is your asset. So you need to have a list of your assets. The number of assets you have determines your asset portfolio. And rich people keep stacking up their assets, making a list of their assets. They keep increasing their asset base, both in similarity and diversity. By increasing your asset base, you're doing what's called multiple streams of income. So that because streams dry, and so you need to have other streams flowing into your garden or flowing into your business. You need to have stack up assets, keep increasing your assets, both tangible and intangible. Put an estimated value around the assets. In the same vein, have a list of your liabilities. Liabilities can be equipment, can be things, can be people, can be debts. Just list a thing. Keep listing things of everything so that you can really know what your net worth is. Your net worth is determined by the subtraction of your liability from your assets. So if you have more liabilities, and what's a liability? A liability is anything that you possess, tangible or intangible, that takes money from you. Anything that takes money from you is a liability, or anything that has high maintenance value is a liability. And you need to critically think. Sometimes, like I said yesterday, your car can be a liability and can be an asset. If your car is enabling you to meet your sales goals, then that is an asset. But if your vehicle is taking so much money from you, having high maintenance of your vehicle, then it's a liability. But you've got to start listing out things. A lot of us are not listing. Why is it important to list? To list brings you to an awareness where you now realize what 20% input is responsible for 80% output. Because for every time there's an output, 20% of the things you're doing right now, of your budget, of your prospect lists, of your asset, is responsible for the great output you have. All right, so like I said, A, that's talking about asset and liability now. A, that is asset, minus L, liability, gives N, network. If you want to know your network, subtract your assets from your liability and you get your network. If you want to know your net worth, subtract your income from your expenses and then you get a net worth. So the question is, do you have a list of every income that shows up in your life? Do you have a list of it? And now it's surprising people don't have a journal where they document, or some companies don't have correct accounting system where they have details of the money coming into your life. I can give you records of every business I've done since 2008. Every single couple that's come into my life since 2008, I have all the records. Every single couple. I have personal records, I also have company records. It's because you see, your accounting is a reflection of your financial net worth. Some people have brand new cars and what they have is a liability that has high maintenance value, but they are poor. They don't have fuel to fuel that car, and they keep running at deficits. So you need to have recording system where you have your income, every single amount of money that's come to your personal life. I mean, everything, including gifts, you must record it. In the same vein, you also want to record your expenses. Every single money you have spent, including the Coke that you buy, the recharge card. Make a list of everything. And daily, like I do, subtract. To subtract means to subtract, whatever expenses from your income, and then you get your net worth for that day. Your net worth for your debt tells you how rich you are. Now, if you subtract your expenses from your income and then you have a minus sign, it means that you are indebted. It means that you are spending more than you are earning, and that is not good for you. If you subtract your expenses from your income and you get a positive sign, what that means is that you are wealthy, and whatever amount of money you have is your true net worth. If you subtract your expenses from your income and you have zero, it means that you're broke, and that means that you need to start working on stuff. So make a list of your savings. Make a list of your savings. Do you really save? All right, do you save? Deliberately save and have a list of savings? When all your financial obligations, including your church tithes and so on, do you have records of them? This enables you to be a master and to be in control. Now, let's bear in mind that Wilfredo says that 20% of the activities you are doing is responsible for 80%. So if I were you, what I'll do is I'll start finding out what are my 20%. What are my 20% activities? What are my 20% budget? What are those things responsible for the 80% results I'm getting? You need to do this carefully to get results. It's not prayer that will make this happen. It's discipline and wisdom. Prayer has its place. Prayer will bring it with it favor. Prayer will give you light. Prayer will give you wisdom. But prayer will not help you discipline yourself. Prayer will not help you record stuff. For example, in the workbook we have, there's a workbook called Goal Setting and Actualization Workshop. And I tell you, wherever you are in Nigeria or around the world, I want you to get the workbook because it will help you to do some things. The first part of the workbook is an audit, a personal audit. Sometimes we need to do a reality check on ourselves. Where are we in the scheme of things? So you do a personal audit, you answer some questions, then you scale and score yourself, and then get to know where you are before you now get into where you write stuff down. All right, so you need to get it. To get it is 1,000 naira. That is, if you're getting the soft copy, it's 1,000 naira, and it comes with an audio that you listen 10 times. All right, and then you want to get the hard copy, then you pay 3,000 naira to be sent to you wherever you are. Now, there's an interesting part of the workbook I'd just like to highlight, and it talks about your financial goals. And then the first thing you want to ask is how much money do you want to make in 2021 or this year? How much money do you want to save? How much money do you want to invest? How much money do you want to insure? People don't think along these lines. Okay, we could think about what we want to make. I was talking to a bunch of people the other day, and they told me they want to make money. I said, money is not a figure. You've got to be as specific can be. What amount of money do you want to make? How much money do you want to save? How much money do you want to invest? And then we talked about insurance. Insurance is important because we don't know what can come up. So I want to make XYZ. I want to save XYZ. I want to invest XYZ. I want to insure. I want to keep for retirement. People don't think about retirement. People don't think about retirement. What pension plan are you working with? So this is quite important. Now, the next question is, how do I want to make this money? How do you want to make this money? What are the financial challenges? Now break it down. What product will I be offering? What will I be selling? What service will I be? Write them down and make a list. For me, I have 4 ways I make money from. I make money from training. I make money from creating videos. I make money from writing copy. I make money from a speaking engagement. I make money from my businesses, my public speaking school, my barbing salon, my car wash, and a few other interests, my media-related businesses, my photography studio. Those are the lists. Make a list of everything that you do, all the streams of income that makes money. And it gets you to list things. Now look at this part. The next question, very important question, is what can you afford to sell to make money? What are your sales plans? Make a list of them. What product or service or value would you be using to exchange? And that question here is, how many streams of income? How many do you have? How many streams of income do you have? You cannot afford to have one. Your salary is not enough. You need to have more streams of income, because you see, a cash pool is inferior to a stream. Now let me differentiate between a cash pool and a stream. A cash pool is sometimes you have a boom, 10 million, 20 million get into your account. That doesn't make you rich. That doesn't really make you a millionaire. You're a millionaire when you have steady flow of income that comes into a certain place on a regular basis. So would you have a cash pool or a stream? I'll go for a stream than a cash pool. Because if you're not smart, you would use that cash pool, you will exhaust the cash pool and be down to zero. But a stream keeps flowing. How do you make a stream? If you have the opportunity to have a cash pool, like you get huge sum from your salary, or from gifts, or from a contract, you must quickly convert your cash pool into an asset. So rich people, what they do is that when they have big money, they quickly convert it into an asset. An asset is any business or anything that can generate money for you. A lot of people, when they get money, they convert their cash pool or their resources into luxury. And you don't convert your cash pool into luxury. That's not smart. You convert your cash pool into assets, because assets will determine streams. So poor people convert, they get some money, they build a house. They get some money, they buy a car to impress the Joneses, and Joneses don't get impressed, and then they go broke. But you get money and you convert that cash pool into assets, and let the asset begin to build up streams that can buy you your luxuries. So these are very important questions that you need to answer. What's your retirement portfolio? What do you have? For example, I have saved certain amount of money I have digital wallets. I've saved money in certain digital wallets. So I convert my Naira into cryptocurrency. Recently, we had a boom in Bitcoin. Bitcoin moved from $4,000 to about $34,000. Even though yesterday it dropped down to 27. And but there's a boom. Anybody that bought last year and bought substantially would have a huge, massive. And the other alternative coins, we call altcoins, Tron, Ethereum, that you can also keep your money there. Keep your money in a blockchain. Keep your money so that you can actually have a digital real estate, or have something in the digital space. You can also have real estate. So what is your retirement portfolio? You can have your digital wallet as your retirement plan, so that when anything happens to you, you give your password to your children as an inheritance, and then they can access it and make money from it. So what's your retirement portfolio? Do you have shares and stocks? Do you have fixed deposit? What is your retirement portfolio like? What's your insurance portfolio like? You don't think, you're always praying about God protecting you, you don't have an insurance. Anything happens to you, how do you survive? There are many insurance companies there. Go look out for them. Do you save? Do you save? Do you have a saving goal? W. Clement Stone said once that if a man who does not save does not have the seed of greatness in him. The seed of greatness is when you can save, discipline yourself, and put aside something. You know what I do for my children? I just got them to do it recently. I said to myself, I bought this saving box. We call it colon. This saving box where you have a little hole. And then the goal is to get my children, whenever I give them money, I'll tell them, you know what, take some part and spend, take the remaining and put into your colon. At the end of the year, we'll break it open and see I want them to see the joy of having substantial amount of money they have saved. My first daughter already saved. Sometimes she saves up to 2,000 naira. Now I want her to put in the column so that at the end of the year, she can save 30,000 or 40,000, depending on how much she's able to save. And the beautiful thing about that saving program is that when the end of the year comes and you open up the column or open up the saving box or the piggy box, and then you bring out the money, it is her money. She has saved it. You're not, okay, you save it now. You take some part and enjoy yourself for Christmas or for the new year, and take some other part and give to God if you believe in tithing, and take some part and maybe put in a bank or do an investment for her. Maybe sign up in a network marketing business. She now knows that her money is in network marketing business. It is anchored in her soul. She will keep asking you, mommy, that business that you invested my money in, what about it? All right, rather than you take your own personal money and then sign them up for a business, or take your own personal money and do some program for them, why don't you discipline them, show them and teach them discipline where they can save at the end of a certain period, bring out the money and then open for them. They will remember it. You're also teaching them the culture of saving, not just saving for saving's sake, but saving to invest, and that is powerful. So you need to have a saving program for yourself. All right, there are many websites you can start saving. For example, you can save. I recommend this. They are very reliable. Piggyvest. I'll spell it for you. PIGGYVEST.com. Fantastic business. You can save. At the end of the month, you can have a token. I was listening to a top blogger the other day, and she said something very striking about how she's not really into real estate, but she's into fixed deposits. She's a billionaire. Her name is Linda Ikeji. She's a billionaire. She said that, look, I have only one house, and I put a lot of my money into fixed deposits. And so you need to start thinking of saving. Save, my brother, save, my sister. Don't save for emergency. Don't run around. Your wife is pregnant, and then you are running around when she's giving birth for people to pay your hospital bills. What a shame on you. You had 9 months to carefully save for her pregnancy. And so the question now is, if you don't have income, what do you do about how do you make money? If you don't have income, how do you make money? So, okay, John, I don't even have money. How do I make money? How do I save? I can't make money. How do I save? I'll tell you what to do. And I'll tell you what to do in this program. I'll teach you how to make money. I'll teach you 14 ways to make money. So it doesn't matter what you are, you make money. Even if you have a job, you can still make money. I have never earned a salary in my life. I always make money daily. I'll teach you how to make money daily, how to make money weekly, how to make monthly, how to make quarterly. And this is what will happen to you. So you need to say, that's the point. And if there's anything we're learning today, is our challenge is have a financial goal for the year 2021. Or for this year, whatever year you're watching this, because some people will watch this video next year on YouTube. Whatever year you're watching this, have a financial goal for the year that you are in. Put a specific price. Now go ahead and then sign the check. If you have a checkbook, sign the check. Put the amount of money and then laminate it and place it in different areas. Place it in your wall, in your room, wherever you are. Say it, talk about it, and be conscious about that check. It will come your way. Life will bring arranged circumstances, will conspire for you, will conspire to make that happen for you. So I look forward to seeing you this evening at the Telegram group. I will place the link. I want you to quickly click on that link and come to Telegram group, because we'll take this a step further. We'll go into finance, and then tomorrow we'll be talking some cryptocurrency, forex, investment. We'll start talking about finance and money. You don't want to miss it for anything on earth. Our challenge for this year is to get the workbook, goal setting and vision board. I'm going to explain vision board subsequently. Goal setting and vision board. And you're going to fill it. And then if you want to get wherever you are in Nigeria, you can get a soft copy for 1,000 naira. You can get a hard copy, the audio and the visual for 3,000 naira. It will be sent to you wherever you are. I'm excited because this year will be your best year. But don't just pray, plan and execute and be committed. I thank you for listening to me. I had a wonderful time sharing my thoughts, and I hope you don't just allow them come here and go here. You take down notes and apply them. See you this evening at the Telegram group. God bless you. And probably we'll have a video class tomorrow or next tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. God bless you and well done, well done. This year is your year of upgrade. God bless.